Plump, fatty salmon is packed with massive amounts of calories. One bite, and the rich flavor fills your mouth. When food is plentiful, brown bears go on an absolute feeding frenzy. The plump, round fish eggs pop perfectly as they chew, bursting open instantly. The sweet and savory juices leave an unforgettable taste. Tearing open the fish skin reveals soft, rich fat inside. Every single bite is a total calorie feast. They prioritize the highest calorie parts while the leftover meat is simply tossed aside. This ensures every part of their body is packed with fat. Building up this thick armor of fat is the only way to survive the long, harsh winter. To protect her 3 cubs, mother bear Luna got into a fierce battle with a male brown bear. She managed to save her babies, but Luna was severely injured. In her current state, hunting is completely out of the question. In this freezing wasteland, any injury can be fatal. Not to mention, she still has 3 growing cubs that rely on her to survive. Suddenly, a tempting scent drifts through the air. A beached whale lies completely still up ahead. Even though the carcass is already rotting, there are still tons of edible fat packed inside. Unfortunately, a large male brown bear has already claimed the carcass. Based on pure strength, he gets first dibs on the meal. As for the other brown bears, no matter how starving they are, they just have to lie down and quietly wait their turn. Luna desperately wants to join in. Just one bite would be enough to solve her current crisis. But obviously, the male brown bear is not in the mood to share his food unless she can offer him something in return, just like this female bear, who provides him with some company. Because the whale's skin is so incredibly tough, they have to reach inside and stir it around, pulling out noodle-like strands of fat to enjoy a massive feast. Once the male bear is completely full, he will start to mate. For Luna, this seems like the perfect chance to sneak in for a bite. Unexpectedly, another massive brown bear crashes the party. It is the exact same cub killer that injured Luna. As the absolute boss of this brown bear territory, there is no way he would miss such a grand feast. But as the current owner of the prize, why would the first male just hand over his food and female? Without a fight, Luna and her family are forced to keep waiting. Fights over food and mating rights are absolutely lethal. Only the strongest bear walks away with everything. It is pretty clear that the cub killer scores a crushing victory. He takes full control of the feeding rights along with the mating privileges. As for Luna, she cannot risk her cubs' safety here. She needs to get them out of there as fast as possible. As a first-time mom, Luna is finally realizing just how tough it is to raise kids. For 6 whole months since they were born, she has not had a single decent meal. Finding food is still her biggest challenge. The starving Luna leads her cubs toward the beach. She vaguely remembers that whenever food was scarce, her own mother used to bring her here to eat. As the tide rolls out, the exposed sandy beach hides an absolutely incredible delicacy. A brown bear's sense of smell is legendary, allowing them to perfectly sniff out the butter clams buried deep beneath the sand. The meat is plump and packed with nutrients. This is also Luna's first real meal since her hibernation ended. The little ones are incredibly curious about the shells on the beach, but since it is their first time seeing them, they are clearly a bit confused. A single clam only gives a small amount of calories, so Luna needs to eat dozens of them just to fill her stomach. But the rapidly rising tide will not give them much time to eat. The energy Luna just managed to regain has to be turned into milk to feed her cubs immediately. These tiny clams might not fill them up, but they are currently their most reliable source of food. Suddenly, a familiar scent blows in with the wind because of the constant urge to mate. A male brown bear is relentlessly tracking her down, and Luna's 3 cubs will be seen as rivals by the male. Faced with the approaching threat, Luna quickly leads her babies away. Since her arm is still badly hurt, it is incredibly hard for Luna to escape the male bear with her cubs in tow. So she takes a massive risk and wades into the rushing river. This seemingly reckless move is truly dangerous. The cubs' tiny bodies can barely withstand the force of the river water. The massive current sweeps the smallest cub away from Luna's world. It is not until she reaches the shore that she realizes one is missing. The littlest cub has vanished without a trace. Raising 3 cubs at the same time was just too difficult for Luna. She does not even have time to mourn her baby. Losing her child absolutely shatters Luna's heart. But sadly, life must go on. She has no choice but to keep moving with her remaining cubs to find food. Meanwhile, the male brown bear shows zero mercy. He will keep following her until he gets a chance to mate with Luna. As spring turns into summer, Luna's arm has finally healed. Life is still incredibly hard, but she has barely managed to keep her remaining cubs alive. Luna brings her family near the coastal river mouth. In just a few weeks, hibernation begins again. If the family wants to survive the bitter winter, they absolutely must pack on enough fat right here. But their food source is currently way out in the Pacific Ocean. Every June, the salmon begin an epic life-or-death migration. During this time, they feast heavily on krill to prepare for the massive journey ahead. Once they reach full maturity, their instincts drive them to return to their birthplace to spawn. During this migration, they pause briefly where the ocean meets the freshwater, giving their gills and kidneys time to adjust their internal systems. This helps them smoothly transition from a saltwater environment to a freshwater one. This process is known as salinity adaptation. But before the salmon finally arrive, the bears just have to keep enduring the hunger. A huge crowd of brown bears is already gathering around the river mouth. Nobody wants to miss this annual salmon feast. Even a hungry gray wolf finally shows up to the party. While waiting, male brown bears will literally fight tooth and nail over the perfect fishing spot. A prime location guarantees you get the very first taste of the salmon. Run! But Luna cannot risk fighting the big males for a spot with her babies around. The family of 3 can only watch helplessly from the sidelines. After going through weeks of salinity adaptation, the salmon finally push toward their birthplace together. An epic salmon feast is just moments away. The rising tide signals that the massive wave of fish is here. Experienced bears step up to their fishing spots as the rushing fish wave hits hard. Brown bears that have been starving all year instantly start catching them. Now that food is finally here, they kick off an absolute feeding frenzy. Plump, fatty salmon is packed with incredible calories. One bite and the rich flavor is unforgettable. The food season has finally arrived, and all the brown bears can profit from it. Right now, the fish are at their absolute fattiest, storing tons of fat and plump roe. With just a gentle squeeze, the bright orange eggs come pouring out. A single salmon is packed with calories. Just a few fish can easily meet their daily goal of 10,000 calories. But these greedy brown bears will hunt down hundreds of them every single day. When food is this plentiful, they only eat the roe skin and the fattiest parts. As for the actual meat, they just toss it away. The wolves don't really know how to fish, but thanks to the bears' leftovers, they still get to enjoy some sweet fish. A hungry Luna stares at the feast right in front of her and finally gives in to the temptation. But the moment she leaves her little ones, they're completely unattended, and that gives the wolves the perfect chance to strike. Even though the cubs are still small, they already know how to fight back. Luna hears their cries and rushes back to help. With food right there in front of her, Luna and her 2 little burdens just have to stay hungry. Without food, there's no way they'll survive the winter. Luna has no choice but to take her babies and find somewhere with less competition. While the canyon is safe from aggressive males, the salmon numbers this year are pitifully low. Even though it's an all-female bear club here, there's still a strict pecking order. At the top is the waterfall queen. She's the biggest and strongest, giving her first dibs on the best fishing spots. The waterfall queen completely runs the show around here. She decides exactly who gets to eat. Female bears might not hunt cubs, but Luna's strength is absolutely nothing compared to hers. Desperate for energy, Luna settles for the soggy scraps left at the bottom of the river. This is also the cubs' very first time tasting fish. It might not be a fresh catch, but it's the best meal they can get right now. On their journey upstream, salmon face all sorts of impossible hurdles. Environmental damage can actually stop the school from moving against the current. During this time, the salmon's bodies are quietly changing. Before heading upriver, they gorged on krill rich in astaxanthin, which is a lot like keratin. That pigment gets stored away right in their muscles. Once the migration begins, the salmon completely stop eating. Their metabolism goes into overdrive, causing their silver scales to break down and fade, transforming them into a brilliant, vivid blood red. If the blockage ahead isn't cleared out, every single salmon here will die. But a perfectly timed rainstorm saves the day. The river levels rapidly rise and the trapped salmon shoot forward like arrows. They have to move fast because time is quickly running out. The starving brown bears have been waiting at the river mouth for a while now. A river full of fat red salmon is absolutely a gift from above. Just to reproduce, the salmon have to survive countless hurdles, and the hungry bears are more than ready. When the fish run gets this thick, the bears literally just have to open their mouths. Where the fish are thickest, the fights are definitely the fiercest. While the other bears are stuffing their faces, a hungry Luna and her cubs have to watch from the sidelines. She has to wait for the others to finish up before she dares to step in. Once the other bears are completely stuffed and leave the river, it's finally Luna's turn to dig in. The little ones are pretty terrified of the unknown water, but it won't be long before they totally fall in love with it. Finally, a starving Luna gets her paws on some food. The family of 3 happily starts chowing down. Every single bite Luna takes massively boosts her cubs' chances of survival. She needs to pack on the fat so she can keep producing plenty of milk for her babies. When food is this abundant, Luna becomes a really picky eater. Ripping open the skin reveals a thick, creamy layer of fat underneath. Every bite is an absolute calorie bomb. She always prioritizes the highest fat bits and just leaves the rest of the meat behind. Such a dense salmon run saves them a ton of energy when hunting. The little guys even copy their mom and practice catching fish. The skills they learn here will stick with them for a lifetime. This incredible all-you-can-eat buffet will last for months. They need to completely binge eat right now to ensure every inch of their bodies is packed with fat. Building up this thick armor of blubber is the only way to survive the long winter. The salmon that actually survived this gauntlet have finally reached their spawning grounds. Their bright red skin makes it easier to attract females. To secure the absolute perfect spawning spot for their mates, the males will aggressively fight each other. Once paired up, they'll clear away the silt together. A comfy environment ensures plenty of oxygen flow. A single female salmon can lay over 4,000 eggs at a time, while the male quickly fertilizes them. This whole migration has completely drained the salmon's life force. They have no energy left to return home. This 2,000-kilometer journey was always meant to be a one-way ticket. After fulfilling their ultimate mission to reproduce, the salmon slowly die, but their passing allows countless new lives to begin. The fertilized eggs will hatch in about 30 to 40 days. The urge to migrate is permanently hardwired into their DNA. Even though it's a terrifying, deadly journey, they'll fearlessly embrace their destiny. In the blink of an eye, the harsh winter arrives. Temperatures plummet, and this white, snowy world no longer offers them a place to hunt. Thanks to that epic salmon feast, our family of 3 has stored enough fat to survive the winter. But what they never could have expected was that next year's salmon run will drop off a cliff. Without the heavy calories from the salmon, how will Luna and her 2 starving babies manage to survive?